Okay, I'll answer some questions if you have some questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuku, for your description and everything. The analogy, I really like it, about the stars and the planets and everything. But what I find strange, I mean not here, but just in general, is do we have to be complacent when you say that there is no, we shouldn't fight for freedom in a society? Does someone have to be complacent if there is a kind of a terrifying monster, let's say the government or a king, suppresses his subjects? And do we have to be complacent and say, oh, we shouldn't strive for our freedom?
Yeah, very good question. You see, the whole conversation tonight started with God. You see, God is very mean. You see, and the same notion of hierarchy of existence, that there must be something, and then less, and then less, and then less, is dictated by existence itself. So who is on top? And when there's a law, not because I say so, my research tells me so. Even God doesn't want you to do something else. Such a dictator. Read the Bible, read the Quran. Even some people are so much with God, they'll cut your head off for questioning him. You see what I mean? So it's not about being complacent. So the rules of engagement in the law of existence is opposed to change or rearrangement. Not because I say so. That's the way it is. So, can you say God is crazy because we heard one time he destroyed everybody because he was angry? What kind of a guy is that? But he's still God. I'm going to use God to answer your question. Because when I say people, you start to argue. So I say God to see how mean that can be. You see? So, when you have a situation and you choose a leader, just like you have the commandments. If you respect that, I don't think God will be angry. So, when we have a monster, like we say, especially on the African continent, we choose a leader. From the next day, people start to chastise him. They start to curse him. They start to say, is this, is that. Even he hasn't done anything yet. Even, okay, he could be a crazy guy. But I learned also that a guy like me, I can never win an election in Africa. They'll kill me the next day if I talk the way I talk. But another man can win an election. I must respect a guy like that. I say, how did he manage? You see what I mean? So he managed. He won the election. Then he gets there. Then you call him stupid? You see where I'm going? So, just to finish with your thing, anybody will react the same way. If you have a family, you go out and you come home, your kids talk bad to you, your wife talks bad to you. One day you're going to kill somebody in the family. That's the same way.
A question from me, because you stated that we need conflict in order to evolve. Does it mean we need to put more effort in conflict management, or do you believe we should put effort in conflict prevention?
Conflict management itself is conflict prevention. When we manage conflict, we're preventing conflict. So we, everything within the system, social system, works around conflict prevention. So the same way, like I said, the planets are arranged, the same way the family is arranged. So there's the notion you have in a family. There's the father, the mother, the children. That's already conflict prevention. not everybody can have the same status. We talk about that with the component being as a car or being in any way, any system that needs to exist. The fact that you break it down into hierarchy, you break it down into pieces that must work together. That's the first base for conflict management and conflict prevention. So those two things, they go hand in hand. You cannot take one without the other. Is that okay? Okay.
Oh, it's working. Well, you forced this question on me, Benny. I wanted to add to what you have already said about us Africans chastising our leaders. It's not only Africans who do that. Even Donald Trump, as stupid as he is or smart as he is, people are chastising it. I think we need to have a lot of mentality change as Africans. We are so focused on what did the Europeans do to us? Where were we there, at that time when the slavery was? We keep on going back to those negative things. When are we ever going to move ahead and focus on building our continent rather than always blaming it on somebody? We'll continue blaming Robert Mugabe for staying in power for so long, but that doesn't change anything. That doesn't improve the lives of people in Zambia because Robert Mugabe is still a president. Museveni of Uganda is still a president of Uganda, but that doesn't improve the lives of Kenyans. So our script has to change as Africans. We should stop blaming our leaders. What are we doing? Because we are the ones who are voting them into power. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's really important. Yes. You see, the part you talked about of this chastising our leaders, and I've always said, if somebody is dedicated and he can do good, why do you want to change him? People say, oh, we have to be democratic. That's nonsense. Democracy was coined by people who spoke the same language and worshiped the same God. Democracy will never work in places where people have different gods and speak different languages, like you have on the continent. So, take Nigeria, for example. Well, I don't know how many tribes we have, how many languages we have. Then we have to choose a leader who is campaigning in English. So, I mean, he's campaigning in a foreign language to everybody. And then we have to understand his message through a foreign language, first of all. And then after, when he's not doing well, we start to get angry. So just like we go back to God and all the principles, if God is one and guarantees us forever and ever, he can always protect us. We can have a leader. We don't change our parents, do we? So this fraudulent idea called democracy, first we can kick it out. I don't know who brought that, shoved that into the souls of the people on the African continent. We resemble nothing democratic, not in our thoughts, not in our actions, not in any way. We're not democratic. We just accepted that because it looked like a way to be non-savage or something, That's complete nonsense. You see, we can stay with one leader if he serves the nation well. We don't need to waste money we do not have. Democracy does not guarantee you the best person to lead you. It guarantees the slimiest guy will win if he has money and if he has people behind him. So democracy has never guaranteed the best person for the position. So I still don't know why it is accepted. And that's part of this education development program. Because, you see, there's some things that have passed the time. You see, just like some things, they were valid at some point. Democracy is no more valid. It was valid for some time. And even now, today, look at the problems they have in Europe. They vote, but then you have to do, coalition government. You have to team up. Then that's nonsense. That's not democracy. If I have to do a coalition, then why should people vote in the first place? You see, except if you go on like that, it's like there's no independence of thought. I think that we have enough intellects on the continent who can just come up with a new formula. I always said, all over the continent, every kind of campaign, every kind of election is done either in French or in English. Isn't that crazy? Europeans don't borrow languages from Africa to campaign. So that's still another part of work that needs to be done by some of our intellects who are busy with all their parts of the academics. You know, invent something else that can be useful. See, so yeah, that's what I'll say to that.